You're listening to the Roofing Success Podcast, a show created to inspire roofing contractors to achieve optimal success in their roofing businesses. I'm the host, Jim Moline, the co-author of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. I'm also the co-founder of Roofer Marketers, the digital marketing agency for the roofing industry. On each episode, I'll be sitting down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they've learned, and how to find success in roofing. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. As always, can you tell them what to do, Dashaun?
Hustle hard,
subscribe,
hustle
man.
Oh, subscribe, baby.
Subscribe,
follow. Like, share, leave a comment.
Leave a comment. I wanted it to come from someone else because I'm always asking, right? And I'm always asking, and sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't.
And that's how the
channel my
grows.
Friend.
For everybody that don't know, that's how the channel grows, by liking it, sharing it, leaving a comment, sharing it with a like-minded individual. That's how the channel grows. So like, share, leave a comment, and post it and share it everywhere.
And that will get our great information and guests, conversations with guests like we have today, out to more and more people so that we could create valuable information and help roofing contractors find success. Amen. So you heard the voice. You know the voice.
Yes,
sir. My man Dashaun Bryant in the house today. How are you, man?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored. Just always an honor and pleasure to be here. Man, we in December. The year's pretty much gone, and it's been a great one, man. So I think it's awesome to be here at the end of the year, man, with you. So I'm blessed.
Awesome, man. It's a great time to reflect, right? It's a great time to reflect. And I know you've had a great year, right? You've gone on site and trained over 30 companies this year, I think it was.
Yeah, right at 30. We hit 30 on the dot this year. The goal was 25. Last year we did 10. So to go from 10 to 30, I got a friend, his name Mick. He worked for Pro West out in Arizona. And he texted me this morning. He was like, man, if you could explain your year in one word, like if you could use one word to describe yourself, everything that happened this year, is like, what word would you use? And I was like, man, exponentially, right? Exponentially. Yep. And I think as human beings, we want to grow incrementally. We want to grow 1 + 1 = 2, right? You know what I mean? And God said, be fruitful and multiply. So to grow so exponentially this year, I feel like that's just me stepping into my natural nature and not fighting the universe, not fighting the blessings, but really just embracing, the greatness that's within me and everybody else as well. And the exponential growth was just undeniable this year, man.
Yeah. And that's part of it is understanding the opportunities that are in front of you and embracing that, right? And following those opportunities, saying yes to those opportunities.
Exactly.
That's a big thing. For anyone who does not know who you are, give them a little background, little intro.
So for everybody who don't know, my name is Dashaun, the owner and creator of Roof Hustlers. We got a YouTube channel, Instagram channel, and we got a Facebook group as well that's grown to 5,000. Like I said, it's been an exponential year. And what we do is we teach sales teams and leaders of sales teams how to coach, train, and mentor at a high level. So we help people get their mind right so they can get their grind right. So we go to sales teams and we change their whole mindset, their whole perspective. We take them in the field. We knock doors with them. Then also we keep a continuous follow-up afterwards, what we've done. But we've done some awesome stuff this year. We helped some people hit some really good numbers. I just talked to a guy this morning. He was one of the main guys that bought into my training at a high level. The whole team did, but he bought into it more than a lot of the other people. And he just won a quarterly sales champ. He had the most sales in a quarter. He was the company sales champ. Shout out to my boy Leo Garcia with Regions Roofing. So that's what we do for sales teams and players and sales guys. We take them to that next level. We teach them to sell at a high level.
A high level. And you said you went from coaching 10 companies in 2020 to now 30 companies in 2021. Yes, let's take some time to reflect on that, right? Like how was the year, man? I mean, what changes have you seen in the industry? What changes? I know we had talked about like you're seeing this new wave of people coming into the industry.
So the biggest change from 2020 to 2021 is my process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like my first company that asked me to train in 2020, like I wasn't ready, but I was ready. So I just went out there, I did my thing. And then as I kept training, like I know it's a group of guys out there, it's a group of people that believe in perfection and they believe they got to have it all right before they put it out there. And I'm the opposite. I believe you just get started and you perfect it as you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, my first training, the material looked different. Like we even changed the logo up from when I did my first training in 2021 to about my third training in 2020 and 2021. So we went from just going out there with guys and just knocking doors to where every time I trained, I learned a little bit something new. Like the first company I trained, American Roofing, he was the guy that asked me, he was like, can you sit down with my guys and do one-on-ones? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. So boom, we started incorporating that in the training, right? And then one company I trained, and there's like, it rained that day. So we had to do classroom training. So we had to improvise. So we did like 2 hours of classroom training and I was teaching them stuff and they was like, man, I really like that. So boom, now we started incorporating 2 hours of office training every day into the training. Then we do the one-on-ones with the sales guys. And then on Sunday, we do a recap with the owners, right? And we've even developed a new program to where I trained a company in Texas. And he's like, can you keep working with my sales manager? I'm like, yeah. So we put the sales manager through a 4-week leadership training. So it's developed and matured and like metamorphed so much over the year, but it's because every training I'm learning something new. I train a company called Roof Medic. You know who Roof Medic is?
Yeah, Jordan. I had him on the podcast. Good dude.
Phenomenal guy. I love Jordan, right? He's the first company that I trained that challenged me. Like I get there and he's like, hey man, I expected this, I expected this from you. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, man, I ain't had nobody that sat down and like, and I knew he was doing it out of love. He wasn't saying like, you're not up to par, but he was like, if you add these things to your process, we could take it to a new level. So now before I go train companies, I make them fill out a questionnaire. Mm-hmm. Now I got a whole 10 questionnaire that companies got to fill out. That way I got more insight into the company. Now I actually do research on the companies. I look at their website, like I look at Google reviews. I do all of these things now to actually know who I'm working with. Versus in 2020, I was just going out there and just swinging the bat, right? So the process has developed and changed so much more. And I would say the biggest shift I've saw in the industry is guys want to get better. Like people want to improve at a very high level now versus 5 years in the roofing industry. It was like sink or swim. It's like now guys are like, hey, I want to make sure all my guys can swim. So I want to pay for a swimming instructor to come out here and teach everybody how to swim. We getting away from the sink or swim method. And so I think the growth in the industry is improving. All of the owners are getting better. Sales managers are getting better. And the company as a whole is just really starting to turn from what I'm seeing into like personal development. It's getting away from just like door knockers, go out there and sling contracts, but to like, how do we help people improve as individuals? Because as the trainer of the owner of Chick-fil-A says, like they was doing so well and somebody was like, man, you should open up more locations. He was like, as we get better, our customers will ask us for more locations. And that's what I'm starting to see in the roofing industry. People are really starting to make sure that people are prepared. And then the preparation leads to a higher level of success. So that's some of the big changes I've been seeing and some of the shifts we're making in our training as well.
And I see that, we always hang out at the conferences. We're at the conferences together, and you could feel it with people. The conversations that we have, we were just down at the roofing process conference together. Yeah. We were at RoofCon before that. Like the conversations that people are having, that we're having with these owners and salespeople at these conferences, it blows my mind, man. People are putting in a huge amount of effort. Mm-hmm. Like they're really wanting to do better. But one of the things that I heard you say is that you just got started. Like, and this is how I am too, man. And you probably heard me say this before. Is phase 1, do something. Phase 2, do something a little bit better. Phase 3, do something better than that. Phase 4, and it just keeps on going on and on forever. I learned that from my programming background when I would, from writing software and things like that. Like that's kind of how it was. And it's called a minimum viable product. It was a good book. I know you like to read. Have you read the Lean Startup?
Nope, but I'm going to go check it out.
All right. So the Lean Startup talks about this minimum viable product, right? So you come to market with this minimum viable product, and your journey over this last year is the roadmap of that book, and you didn't even know it. So what that book talks about is you come to market with something, and then you get feedback.
Yeah.
And then you make adjustments based on your customers' needs, not on what you think they need, right? What your customers truly give you feedback on needing. And now the different iterations that have happened through this year and all the things that you've added to make it better. To me, I mean, from what you just said, it came from the people.
It came from the
that
people
you're serving, right? And that's a beautiful thing. And as business owners, a lot of times for the owners listening and the salespeople listening, like that's something that a lot of times we'll have ideas, real grand ideas, like let's go do this, right? And then it just falls flat. It just doesn't work. And we're like, man, I didn't do well, or like you put it on yourself, but it's just that you didn't listen to the market first. You listened to yourself. Your idea went wrong. Right. And okay, well, then you try another idea, right? Like, but if you start from those little iterations, not saying like, I don't know what we could, kind of attribute it to in roofing, but like if you come into roofing, if you're a newer business, maybe you need to start with one singular focus, right? Storm damage restoration, asphalt shingle. like let's, right. Come in and master phase 1. Right. And get good at that. And then add on, or maybe you want to come into the market in a different manner and be the metal roofing company. Right. Yep. Or the right. And so that's your minimum viable product coming to market with. And now you get your feedback from your customers and like the Chick-fil-A story is now, your customers can tell you what to add to the mix. Right. And so that's
Adam Benson is phenomenal at doing
phenomenal.
And we had a good conversation about it. And he was like, I was like, man, you ask the people what they want more than anybody I know. He was like, yeah. I was like, and I'm the opposite. Like, I don't care what they want. Like I do, but I don't, to the sense that I'd be like, hey, what y'all want me to train on?
That's right.
But ever since I done heard that from him, I've been way more open to receiving, the community's feedback on what they want to learn or what they want to do. But he's one of the best I've seen at that. But even with you saying that, right, most people aren't coachable enough to receive feedback, take it in, internalize it, make adjustments, adapt, and execute, right? Most people will be like, who is him to tell me I need to do a questionnaire? He don't do it. Who is him to tell me this and tell me that? Right. But I was like, whoa, this the market.
Yeah.
This a 1% guy, because Jordan is like a different breed of
different
man,
breed,
right? Like owners, like the dude is phenomenal. If you watch Jordan, man, so much love for you. But he completely different, and no owner has sat down and like opened up my mind the way he did. And like, but I had to be coachable. I had to be open to receiving the information to make the adjustments and adapt and, execute and get things done. So I think that part is vital as well, to be coachable, to receive the information to improve yourself.
So I just had an idea there in what how someone could think about this within their roofing business, right? If you have a homeowner that you're dealing with and they tell you, I really wish you called me about this, you might need to add that to your checklist, right?
It's funny you say that, man.
A check-in call or right. So it's not just what we're talking about here on a macro level and in coaching, and like, how can we implement this on a day-to-day in your roofing business? Listening to those types of things.
And even as a roofing owner, right? It don't even have to come from your clients. It can come from your sales. It can come from your sales team,
from your employees, your salespeople, your operations, your production team, everyone.
These are the people that's dealing with the headaches that you're causing. Like, you don't get to see them because you're the one that's making the decisions and you making everybody else's life difficult. But the people who life you making difficult, they speaking up And then some owners got that mindset of like, this is my company, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, you just the guy that started it. It's really all y'all company, because without them, the sales guys, the production manager, the office girls, the company won't run as smooth as it runs. So I had a homeowner that, even as good as I am, I dropped the ball, right? I was supposed to go check him out on Monday. I didn't get back to him until today. So it was a week later. I took 2 trips, the weekend, whole nine. And they contacted me on Monday and was like, hey, we feel a certain type of way that we ain't heard from you Monday, right? And I rectified the situation, apologized, made things better. I got a schedule to meet up with him this evening. But right after that situation, I made a call to my sales manager. I'm like, hey, maybe we need a second point of contact, because we get busy. We deal with multiple homeowners. Maybe we need somebody that just throw a buffer in there once a week just to call and make sure the process is going. And he was like, you know what, you're right. I think that's a good idea. So it's simple situations like that. I think so. Obviously, like, you got to have solutions for the problems, but sometimes your best practices can come from dropping the ball and to help you improve your company.
And that's what good owners do. That's what good, but just even as an employee, as a salesperson, everything is learning. Right. Yep. Everything is, and you have to be open to that and drop in the ego, because if you think that you're right every time, you're completely wrong. So now, one of the things that I know you do and you do well is that came from this process, right? Is sitting down with those salespeople individually.
Yeah.
And we've had this conversation before, and Adam Bensman is someone who's brought it up to me a lot of times too, is the struggle between the goals of the company and the goals of the salespeople, and how to make them align properly. And so in doing that, I know what you, or from my understanding of what you do in your coaching process, is you sit down and really talk to and challenge the whys that a lot of these salespeople have. How in your process have you found that works the best, or some of the best practices for aligning company goals with salespeople goals, and then from an owner's perspective of how they can understand their team on a much higher level to make sure that everyone is going in the right direction and they're serving their team properly also?
It's a great question, right? So like I said, so when I go in and we train companies, so that's the beauty of the questionnaire now, right? So the questionnaire gives me so much insight. We know how much they did in a month. It helps me figure out like what they're looking to get out of the training for their sales teams, what's the strengths of their sales team, the weaknesses, all of these things. So then when I come out and sit with the sales guys, I make them fill out an evaluation sheet. It says my strengths, my weaknesses, new skills I want to develop, and areas I need to improve. So the remarkable thing about this one-on-one process, Jim, is you think everything would be sales-based. Like, you think it would just be like straight sales-based information, but it's not. I'm sitting down with guys, and one guy, like, I got bad triggers, and when things go bad in my life, I just start drinking and partying. You know what I mean? One dude was like, he don't got a good relationship with his mom. Like, one dude, had issues with not respecting women. And the office girls, he didn't respect them because, his past. So I'm sitting down and I'm getting super duper in-depth information. Like, nobody would think that a sales rep would have a problem with respecting women. Like, you don't think that would be a thing. But this the type of information that we dig in. And I don't dig. I'm not like, tell me more. It's like they just start opening up.
Yeah.
Because they realize it's like finally I sit down with somebody who actually care, and they're not here to get nothing out of me, but they're here to make sure that I improve and become a better person. So the one-on-ones is one of the biggest needle movers when I go train. It's not the door-to-door training. It's not the office training. It's when I sit down and do the one-on-ones with sales guys, because it's almost like a form of like therapy, because it's unbiased decisions. I'm not here to tell them what's right and what's wrong. I'm just here to listen. And I'm just here to give them any principles, any tactics, any tips, any strategies that I may have implemented within my life that they can be doing. Like the one dude who told me he had an issue with his mom, I told him, well, I've been making a goal to call my mom 3 times a week. And it's just to check on them, right? Because, we all have our own little issues. So I implemented that in his life, and that improved for him. Or I teach people breathing techniques. I know people that say, man, I could sell, but I get to the door and I just get sweaty. So like, it's a lot of stuff that we uncover in these one-on-ones. And then the most interesting part is the owners don't know none of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like these guys have been working for them for years, 2 years, 3 years. Some guys new. And the only thing they focused on is how many deals they closed, how many doors they done knocked, why they not bringing in more deals. So when I do the one-on-ones and we dive deep and I bring it back to the owner, now they're like, whoa, I didn't know that guy was going through this. Oh man, I didn't know he was battling these things. So now you able to lead your team at a higher level, because now it's not about numbers, but it's about who they are as a person and how we can help them improve as a person. So we get the owner and the sales guys aligned on the personal level. And then I talk to the owner and I'm like, man, what's the goal this year? 5 million, 6 million, 7 million, whatever it may be. And then we spread that message to the sales team, because now the owner know that the sales people, so let's love on them as people. And now the sales guy know, like, yeah, you a 1099, but it costs money for you to be here. Because that's another gap. Oh, I'm a 1099 salesman. I do what I want. No, that's not how this works. That just means you do your own taxes and you got tax write-offs. That's all a 1099 salesman mean. You still cost money. It costs money for you to be in AccuLinks. It costs money for you to be on Sales Rabbit. Like, none of that stuff is free. So then we bring that message to the sales team. We bring that they people to the sales, to the owner of the company, or the sales manager. Now we done created a whole new level of synergy to where now everybody understands everybody. So now moving forward, we on a mission. This ain't just as Chuck Toki said all the time. It's different between having goals and it's different between having a mission. Right. So now we get them on the same page, and now we on a mission to hit 7 million, 10 million, 8 million. And now everybody want to be a fair contributor to that mission. Right. So the one-on-ones is such a game changer, man. And I thank God for, I go to therapy 2 times a month. I used to go every week, but now I just go 2 times a month. And sitting down with my therapist has helped me improve my one-on-one game. Yeah. So people don't understand how many coaches that I got in my life outside of sales coaches. I got a therapist and she coached me too. So, the one-on-ones is the biggest game changer, and getting teams in alignment is what allows them to thrive at a higher level. Because when everybody got their own, personal goals, all these things, everybody pulling and pushing in one way. But when everybody know the goal is to help this company get to 10 million, and everybody going to make a certain amount of revenue by pulling a weight, now we all locked and loaded at the same goal. So now we're trying to win the Super Bowl instead of everybody just trying to be stat guys. Now we're trying to win the Super Bowl. So the one-on-ones is a big game changer.
I hear that gap a lot of times. Like there's the poisonous salesperson that's a high producer.
Yeah.
But everyone in the office hates him.
Yep.
Everyone in the, like, every other salesperson, and so like when that, then no one's on the mission together. Right. And it creates those bad situations where, and then like what you said too, as employers, man, like really, a family member that I know, they were having a conversation. They had a conversation with their boss, and they were, the boss's spouse chimed in later on, like, how dare that employee have a conversation like that with you? Like, what do you mean, how dare? Like these are, everyone's a person, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and there's this old style of owner employee and who's the boss, right? Like,
it's the worst.
It's the worst, man. And it creates just horrible cultures. And then that's why people want to leave and start their own. And that's why, you may become a training ground for your competition, exactly. Right? But you don't have to do that. You can do some of these things, getting to know your employees better. And as an employee, if you're a salesperson or, on the production side, wherever you're at, it may feel uncomfortable at times, but maybe you have to express some things.
You got to. And
right?
I even
And get
tell
that
owners,
communication opened up. Yeah.
got to. And I tell owners to like stop saying people work for you.
Mm,
Start saying people work with you.
yeah.
Like I don't work for no roofing company. Right now I work with a company called Classic Roofing and Construction, and they're based out of St. Pete. But we just have such a great mutual understanding. They know I coach and train, go on the
Yep.
road, and I help out with the training with the sales team. But when I hit the road, like my sales manager will go like sign out a job for me. Like he do all of those things because I work with them, not for them. And I think if owners switch that, say, hey man, come work with me,
Mm,
help us grow this and do this. And I need you to be a part of that. I want you to be a part of that. I think sales guys will have a different idea when they start working for companies versus saying, you work for me. No, we work with you. Like,
with, yeah, that's great. So in those conversations in the alignment of goals of the team, right? Now everyone in the team is aligned. Um, Other things that I've seen is where salespeople will hit their personal revenue goals
mm-hmm.
and then skate, right? Like they're just like, I'm good for the year, right? Like, so do you think that expression of the goal to them, to the sales team, helps them try to hit the big number and get past their personal revenue goals? Or do you think some of them will still just kind of hit their personal revenue goals and stop? So as an owner, maybe you need to hire more to get to that number you want.
Yeah. So one thing that's been happening when I go train companies is I bring such a fierce, positive, uplifting, challenging type of energy that those guys that you're talking about that's still looking for their individual goals, somehow, some way, they don't end up with the company. Like they either end up letting them go, they end up quitting. Like those things happen. Yeah. So usually by the time I'm done with a company, all the guys there, they on a mission. We all in alignment. We all ready to exceed to where, even I've seen with a company where a guy stepped into a role of sales manager, still sells pretty decent, but his numbers dropped, but he's improved everybody else's numbers.
Yeah.
That's the type of alignment that we're starting to see take place to where I got guys that have called me individually that say, hey man, I love this owner. I love what he do. I want to help this company go to this next level. Dashaun, do you got any individual training coaching that you can give me to help bring more value back to the company? So the companies that I'm training and the companies that I work with, those are the guys that they have for them, but I just help them find that inside of them. Yes. And we bringing it out. So most of the guys, when I'm done training, everybody's in alignment, and the guys that don't align, they usually end up, saying goodbye.
So that's a good thing, is that we use the EOS system in our business, entrepreneurial operating system.
Yep.
And one of the pieces of that framework is your core values, right? Mm-hmm. And having your core values. And then you get to measure each person that works with you against those core values. So what I'm hearing from you is like, you guys have aligned this mission. And a lot of times the people that are just out of alignment, they go away.
They just go away. Yep. And what you said is perfect on the core values. I go to some companies and they don't got them. And I'm like, yes. Well, what you represent? They're like, well, I know. I'm like, but they don't.
Yep.
Like your sales team don't know what you represent. So we need to, so you're right. The core beliefs and values are so huge. And like you said, it's easy to hire and fire off of core beliefs and values because now no feelings involved. And you can't take nothing personal then. So that's huge.
Yeah. We were talking, I was talking on a previous episode with Ryan Kettering. He's a brand specialist, mm-hmm. But he had a good point. And that was that a lot of times when we're starting out, we mimic, right? So we do what we see someone else doing. And that's what gets us to a certain point. So you may not even really understand your core values or your why at the time. The why is, man, I want to start a company and I want to,
make some money.
Yeah. It makes money, right? I got to pay the bills. Like that may be your why for that in that startup phase, right? But then what he expressed was that now you hit a place where where you've kind of maxed out that mimicking ability, right? Now
Yeah.
you're maxed out on your ability to mimic another company, and it'll get you so far. It'll get you an income, but then that's the time and place to really make those considerations and sit down and develop those core values and sit down and work on your brand and all these different differentiators that come around at that point in time. But in the beginning, sometimes you just got to copy what's working and go with it and just move forward, right?
Yeah, 110%.
Yeah.
Even starting the YouTube channel, it's just I did it because, my kid's the mom when she was pregnant, Laura, when she was pregnant at the time, she the one that taught me that YouTube was a community, because when she was pregnant, she found a bunch of pregnant women and it was easy to do that. And she like tried to switch up her hair and she found a whole community for hair people and she was doing that. So I was like, it gotta be a community for roofers.
Yeah.
It gotta be one. So like you said, I was just mimicking what other people was doing, just putting a YouTube channel out there. And then like you said, after that mimicking, after a while, you got to start doing your own thing, bringing the authenticity, the cool things that we do, the music video, just all of those things. So
yeah,
I agree with that 110%.
Yeah. And that's how you get to that. That's where you get to those levels of, I see the hat for people that are watching, Riva, Martin Pettigrew, wrote a book called The Roofing Machine, owns Monarch Roofing out there in Myrtle and on the coast there, the Carolina coast. Like, you can't mimic that anymore.
Even the shirt, man, like this, the sun sleep we up.
Sleep we up, right? Like it's like there's like you gotta like there's things that you can mimic, and then there's things that like you have to build and create. But that's honestly, that's where the fun part comes in for me. Like, that's where I think the fun is in that, in being able to do that.
The authenticity, the originality,
the authenticity. Like, that's where the fun stuff, and some people may not be for them, right? You can mimic another company, get to 3 million, 5 million, and be happy. And that's okay.
100%.
You do not have to be a 15, 20, $30 million a year roofing company, right? Like, you don't have to do it. You could be your own self, make sure you understand those, your personal core values, maybe time with your family, and that $15 million company will not allow you to do that. So what are you seeing in, like, I just had our friend, we have a mutual friend in John Scenic, the Roof Pro, right? Part of the Pitch Pro movement, one of the mentors like us. But one of his salespeople is Alex Bucher. And one of the unique things about Alex, I had him on the podcast too. His unique story is he came from car sales. And I was talking to, I think it was one of the guys from Hero Roofing that you were with down in at the roofing process.
Pull-ups, right?
Yeah. He came from car sales also. We're starting to see people from, like, the roofing industry is attracting a different, like, the opportunity is becoming, it's out there, right? People are learning about the opportunity in roofing. What are you seeing this new wave? Like, there's this different wave, don't you think?
It is 110%, man. People coming from everywhere. Like my boy, like you said, Craig Jones came from car sales. We got a guy that just joined with our team over here in St. Pete, came from car sales. I know a guy that left his job. He used to be an IT guy. I done seen police officers. There used to be police officers that came into roof sales. But I think the biggest thing that people noticing about the roofing industry is the ability to control your time and your money. And the roofing industry, not the roofing industry, the car industry, nice, right? Because cats like, I can make $100,000, but you're at the dealership for 12 hours.
12 hours.
You're at the dealership from 7 in the morning until 8 at nighttime, right? Like, police officers make decent money, right? But you're putting your life at risk every day.
That's right.
Right? Like Ben Menchaga, he used to be a welder or a pipe, whatever he was, right? Yeah. But you're breaking your back down. I've even seen a fluctuation of people coming from the builder side. I see guys that put the roofs on and they're like, Dashaun, man, I'm kind of tired of this. Can you teach me how to sell? And we want to, like, so I've been seeing it done in so many different types of ways, but I think people starting to understand that, man, I can control my time. I can control my money. I can spend more time with my family. We could take more family trips. And I think that's the attractive thing about the roofing industry. And like I tell everybody, it's the eighth wonder of the world. It's the best kept secret. And I'm big on principles, and it's the only industry that I found, like I said, that aligns with the laws of the universe, which is if you plant an orange tree, you get oranges back, right? And at every other job, you plant time, and they give you money back, and nobody gets time back.
Mm.
And now people starting to realize that, like, I'm giving you all my time and all I'm getting is money. And then they see me, they're like, man, you with your kids all the time, you're doing this, you're doing that. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I found an industry that aligns with the laws in the universe. Because when I give them time, I get time back. I get money too, but I also get an opportunity to own my time. And I think that's the biggest thing that people start to notice about the roofing industry, is that you can make a lot of money and you can buy back a lot of your time to spend the money. Because a lot of people got money, but they don't got no time to spend it. Or, their wife just taking the kids to the parks and shopping every day while they working every day. And, I've had the luxury of being a stay-at-home dad, and I get to take my kids to do a lot of activities. So I think that time and money aspect has been attracting a lot of people from other industries, and they loving it, man. So anybody out there, if you thinking about it, stop thinking and just jump, man. Just do it, and I promise you, it'll be one of the best decisions you ever made. And I ain't telling you it's easy. I want to be very clear that,
No,
but it's worth every minute of it.
I want to go into that a little bit more. How do you trade your time for time? Explain that.
Great question, right? So, for example, with Roof Hustlers, right? So we was putting in a ton of work with just regular sales, right? Just selling first 2.5 years. And we just been grinding, knocking doors, building the pipeline, building the brand, doing everything. So now I have the luxury of where I can go on the road and train a company from Thursday to Sunday, come home Sunday, and then I don't have to knock another door until I decide to, like these days. Or for example, my homie, I give him a better example for somebody that's not a coach and a trainer. My friend Mick Kuliyoshi, I can't think of his name. How you say his last name? It's like Kalulio, which,
Yeah.
He didn't tell me to say this, but he'll be a great guy for the show. Like his background, where he at now, phenomenal story. But he killed the game in Arizona, sold a lot of roofs, and he took his whole sales team to Hawaii for 10 days. Or the leaders took the leaders to Hawaii for 10 days. And jobs were still getting built. Checks were still being collected, and checks were still coming in. You can't do that at a regular job. You just can't up and go without putting it in a request. Like, hey, I'm not going to be here for 10 days. My a guy that I know, my boy Brandon, he worked with artists and roofing up in Connecticut. He took the whole month of September off. The whole month. Not 1 or 2 days, took the whole month off, went to every Green Bay Packer game that was possible because he's a big Green Bay fan. But all of those guys put in the time, and then they bought their time back.
So that makes sense to me. And the other thing that I heard is you get in buying your time back, you build up once you start to build a base of clients, there's a referral aspect to this business.
Exactly.
John Cena, we've done a podcast where he knocks the first 3-4 months of the year, and then he works his referrals the rest of the year.
Yep.
So he doesn't have to be out there knocking doors every day chasing the next one, because he's doing the right things afterwards, right?
Yep.
Like, it's not about one, it's about many. And I always say that the contractors that I see that are most successful are the ones that are able to turn one into many.
Yep.
But that really happens with the sales team where kind of where you live. And if they are doing the things that turn the one into many, right? So now you get homeowner A, right? And now you're asking homeowner A, hey, do you know anyone else that may need my help? And then you're knocking the neighbors, and you're doing the right things that will allow you to get to deal 2, deal 3, deal 4, deal 5 out of that one. Is that kind of what you're saying in a little bit of that, or in the buying your time back? Is that?
So that is a form of it, right? You don't
Yeah.
have to knock doors as much. But the main thing that I mean by you buying your time back or you get time back is once you put in enough grind and you got a big enough pipeline, the grind becomes passive and is no longer active. So when the pipeline big enough, you could not do nothing for like a couple of weeks and still get checks, and you could buy your time back along those ways.
That makes sense, and that's what John Scenic's co-salesperson Alex was talking about in his structure. Like the way that he thinks about things is to have a certain number of deals in the pipeline. Like that's his whole thing. Like how many, I need to have 28 deals in the pipeline at all time. And that's how that gives him that flexibility, I guess, is what, from what you're saying here. Now that he has the flexibility, like I know, oh, now we're down to 18 in the pipeline. That one closed out, a couple more closed out. Now I'm down to 15. Now I need to get more of my time out on the street now, right? Like
versus, you know, if you work at a regular 9 to 5, you don't have that luxury. You got to show up every day and give them 8 hours every day, regardless. But in roofing, you don't got to give 8 hours every day. One day, maybe you can give an hour, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours. Like you said, as long as you know you keep your pipeline full, it becomes passive. And now you have more opportunities to do vacations with your family. I just want to be very clear to this. I see roofer owners on vacation more than anybody I see on vacation that I know. I'm just saying that, like, the people I know in my life that's not in the roofing industry, they don't take as many vacations as roofing owners that I know. So they have found a way to buy back their time and do the things that they love to do.
That's right. And that's part of business ownership, right? In buying your time, you're paying people for time, right? So, but it's interesting that you could do that as a salesperson also.
Mm-hmm. You definitely
but Dashaun, I'm not as skilled a salesperson as you are. How?
Maybe there's not
no
a
way.
There's
no way. There's no way I could do what you do, Dashaun. What would you say to that person?
Man, that's a great one, right? And I tell everybody, I say, I wasn't born like this. I created this, right? My first year in the industry was a struggle, man. Yeah, I filed 190 claims, but that was just through pure consistency, just showing up every day. Like whether it sucked or not, I kept doing it. So you're going to get deals because consistency compounds. So you're going to get deals you shouldn't get. But I didn't start reading books till year 2. I didn't start attending conferences till year 2. I didn't start getting coaches until year 4, year 5. So if somebody say, man, I'm not as good as you, I say, man, the beauty of life, we all start out on an even playing field. So it's up to you to develop the skills that you want to have, because skills pay the bills. You're born with talent, but everybody can learn a skill and develop a skill. And I don't think I was a naturally skilled salesman. I think I was a naturally skilled talker. That I was born with that. Like I knew how to talk to people since I was young, and not really that good. I just wasn't afraid to talk to people, right? But I developed the skill of reading books. I developed the skill of reading people. I developed the skill of studying. Like I go back to where I was in high school, and I'm like, man, if I had the skills to study back then, like I could study now, oh man, I'd have been a straight A student, right? You know what I mean? Went off to college and it'd been a whole different story. So skills are learnable, they're developable, and they can be taken to new levels. So for somebody to say, man, I ain't you, it's like, well, duh, you don't want to be me, man. But the skills that I possess, that I've learned, you can go learn them as well. So we all got a fair advantage when it comes to learning skills. Like Jim Quick, he's gonna be at the door-to-door conference.
Yeah.
As a kid, he was labeled as mentally retarded, dyslexic, slow learning disability, like told he would never be nothing due to his ability the lack to learn. And now he's a top memory coach in the nation. He teaches John Travolta. He teaches like Will Smith. He teaches all these people how to memorize their lines and their scripts. So he wasn't born with no talents.
No.
But he developed all the skills he needed to be successful. So tell everybody, man, go learn the skills. Skills pay the bills, baby.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that people do is they don't understand. Sometimes it takes a while.
Hey, my mentor say the only thing between you and the person that you want to be or the place that you want to be is time. That's all it is. It's the only thing that's between you and where you want to be is time. And with Roof Hustlers, we've been doing this for 5 years. And I remember the first year we started it, people weren't paying. I remember I used to get 100 views a video, maybe 100. I was like, oh my gosh, I got 100. But nobody is watching.
Yeah.
And now 5 years later, people see this and they're like, oh man, it's da 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 da. And I'm like, only reason I'm here is because I didn't quit. It was just time. Time just compounded this thing. So most people impatient. They want it now. JG Wentworth, my money and I want it now, right? Kind of is. And all the people that exceed at a very high level, they're patient. You look at Aaron Rodgers killing the game, but people forgot that he sat behind Brett Favre for 4 years.
That's right.
He didn't play for 4 years. Time, right? Learning, studying, getting better. And then when it's your time, when the opportunity comes, make sure that time that was between you and that opportunity, you use that time wisely, getting better, maturing, getting more discipline, emotional maturity, just all of those things. Make sure you develop the skills so when the opportunity came, you took advantage of it.
Yeah, when opportunity meets preparation.
Amen. That's all it is.
That's all it is. But that's what we have to do. And these are some of the great things that I think this time of year allows us to do, right? Like take some reflection, think about this stuff. Like what few things could you improve upon, help your business improve upon, or you can improve upon as a salesperson or as a leader, through the coming year, and make those incremental adjustments. 5 years from now, you won't recognize yourself.
I can say that from like a personal testimony. Like I wish I can go back and see who I was the first day when I first started knocking doors, just to see what that looked like.
It would have been nice to have that on video, just to do a compare and contrast. Like
I do go back to my Instagram and scroll. Like when I first started doing Instagram videos, just to look and hear how I sound, just everything. It's amazing, man. I'm super blessed. But one thing I want to tell people this time of year, don't spend time looking at all the things that you did great, because you know about that, right? Find the corrections, fill the gaps, find the things you can do better in 2022, right? Because you can get high up on what you did this year and you can think that's what's going to help you succeed next year. And it's not. It's the gaps that you fill and the corrections that you make that's going to keep you at the top and thriving at a high level. Because I think people focus on everything they did right and they want to keep doing that right. But it's like, I'm not telling you to focus on your weaknesses, but I'm telling you to fill your gaps. This time of year, fill the gaps. And then 2022 will be even better. Yeah,
and that's really the best thing you can do always, right? Like, and we have to remove ego, because the great things that happen this year, you want to ride that a little bit.
Yep.
Look what I did, right? Look what I did. It all could come down in a second. You got to keep, I heard a good analogy recently that like entrepreneurship, and it's the same thing in 1099 sales. It's like having a wolf chasing you all the time. Like there's always a wolf. You have to be running. You have to be moving. You have to be thinking about the next thing that you could do to make yourself better and get away. The next salesperson that's coming up at that other company, they're going to be right behind you on those doors. The next owner that's starting his company, he's going to be right behind you trying to take those deals away from you. So you have to, okay, what adjustments can we make to be better, right? To be better, always be better.
I'm like the next coach coming along. What I got to do to stay ahead of them?
That's right. How can you coach better? Fresh. What is the next iteration of your coaching? What could you do to even better? Like it's just make it even better. One of the things we do in our agency, we call it chasing shiny objects, right? So our team is tasked with chasing shiny objects that our customers may see out there. Well, hey, I heard that this, that, or the other thing is working. Oh, we already did a test on that, right? And so now we're chasing those shiny objects and making sure that we find the next thing for our customers, right? That and to know if it works or not. And so when we're doing that, we're filling those gaps, right? We're making sure filling those gaps, right? shiny objects, we'll chase them. Like we'll chase them for our customers though, so that they don't have to chase them, because otherwise they're going to come to us and be like, oh, this is a great idea. I heard it at somewhere. And we're like, yeah, we tried that and it either worked or it didn't work. Like, here's what it is. Right. So we could talk about now, since it's past the Roofing Process Conference, we're partnering up.
Yeah. Super excited about that, man. The Pitch Pro movement. Shout out to Adam Benson.
Adam Benson is the best, man. He invited myself, Dashaun, John Senek, Matthew Mulholland to be a part of his Pitch Pro movement. And I mean, I know, I'm excited. Like, I'm excited, man.
Because the way he interacts with his community.
Yeah.
Things that they're going to be like, we want to learn this, we want to learn that. They actually going to be pushing me to improve my training and my coaching and my studying. So I'm excited about that. And then I could take that stuff and then, give them a little taste of it over at Roof Hustlers. Cause I don't want, you know what I mean? But I'm excited about it as a whole. And just to be around so many great minds to be learned. Cause I'll be honest, I'm a great brander, not a good marketer. I'll be real. Like, I'm a great brander. I've never did marketing, never paid for no marketing, none of those things. So I'm excited to be able to learn marketing, right? Yeah. Learn shingles from John Senek, right? Matt teaching me how to deal with adjusters at a high level, continue to learn sales stuff from Adam, and then vice versa. So to be a part of a mastermind group that I don't have to pay for, but get paid for, it's not even fair. It's almost not even fair. So
it's not fair.
To be a part of that is like, it's outside of just giving my sweat equity. Like, I'm blessed, man, because the connections and the partnerships and the people that I've made that have become my friends now, not just I know that guy, but I can call that guy, or like talking to you now ain't nothing compared to how I was the first time we did the interview, right? Like, this interview was so much more organic, so authentic, it shifted like so smooth, right? And the first time we kind of like, you know what I mean? We prepared, but this time it was organic. So to the people that I'm talking to, the friends that I'm making, and it don't make no sense. So if you see this little clip, right, come join the Pitch Pro movement, right? Because it's equivalent to this, right? Every great player needs a good coach. And Michael Jordan, he was good, right? But he went to that next level when he got with Phil Jackson. And then he worked with Phil Jackson every single day, not just once a month, not just once a quarter, but he got to sit and talk with Phil every day to get a new mindset, new perspective, share what he's going through. Phil tell him what he see, and that's how they won 6 championships. So if you as a roofing company want to find a way to win championships back to back to back, and for you that might be 10 million, right? That might be 5 million back consistently. You need to be a part of the Pitch Pro movement, and that's what we do. And we taking sales professionals to that next level, to where you no longer have amateur tendencies, but you operate from a pro mindset, pro habits, and pro results. And that's what we're going to be doing over at the Pitch Pro movement.
It is. And the other thing about what Adam Benson is really good at is, I mean, we look at him a little crazy sometimes about what he likes to charge for these things. Yeah. So understand that, check out the Pitch Pro movement. There'll be a link in the bio, but the affordability of what you're getting, you're going to get me as your marketing strategist, Dashaun as one of your sales coaches, Adam as one of your sales coaches, to train you, your team, John and Matt on the insurance side and those things, and just the production side of things, and the foundational elements of building a roofing company. Those guys know that stuff, and you'll get that on an ongoing basis. So we don't like to make infomercials over here, but I'm excited, man.
I'm a firm believer, right? One of my coaches told me this, and I believe in this wholeheartedly. If I got a product that could change your life, I should be trying to get it in your hand as much as I can. And that's how I feel about this Pitch Pro movement. I've never got on here and sold Roof Hustlers. I didn't say you need to hire me, you need to have me come out.
That's right.
The Pitch Pro movement, the affordability, the consistency, and the community, it is worth it. Like, I would promote this all day, and you're gonna laugh at the price, man. That's the funny part.
You're gonna laugh at the price. Hit the link in the bio.
It's no brainer. So it's definitely something you should want to be a part of.
That's right. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate your time today. As always, we'll be seeing each other more often in the Pitch Pro movement. But how else can people find you?
As always, y'all can find us on YouTube, Roof Hustlers. We just put out the first door-to-door music video. Go check that out. We got the Facebook group, Roof Hustlers, Instagram, Roof Hustlers, and also on Facebook, my name, Dashaun Bryant. One thing I've learned about branding, you need to be easy to find. So it's Roof Hustlers everywhere you go. Like, subscribe, share, and we hope to see y'all soon in the Pitch Pro movement. And if not, we just hope to see y'all soon at the top, because there's plenty of room up there.
This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast.
If you would like to generate more sales through your digital marketing efforts, please visit roofermarketers.com and get a copy of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors: How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. Also, check the training section of the website for guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads to how to properly set up your Google My Business listing. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. Thanks for listening.